Hi everyone, it's Dawn Fisher from Morning Glory Needleworks. Welcome to my 36th FlossTube video. As always, thank you to everybody who watches, subscribes, likes my videos, my channel. And as always, any links or anything I talk about will be listed or available in the comments or description of the video underneath the video. And so I have links to my Etsy shop, Instagram, Stitch of the Month, Morning Glory Needleworks Facebook, Buy Me a Coffee. And then I'm going to be talking about something I think is really interesting. So I have a link to more information about that. So I'm really excited. So it's the 15th of June already, 2023. And I've got some fun things to talk about today. So as some of my regulars may have noticed, I got my hair cut. It was really long, and it's maybe a little shorter than I planned, but it's fine. I like it. And I went to text my hairdresser that I've been going to since, I don't know when, the 90s, late 90s maybe. And I realized I haven't had my hair cut since September of 2021. And it was a little bit longer than this when she cut it that time. So it was really long, and it was time, because it's like my hair, it'll be good. It's really long, but it's okay. And then all of a sudden one day I wake up and it's like, oh my God, this is too long. It just gets in my way and it gets caught. So anyway, I probably won't wait that long next time. Just been a lot going on in the last year and a half, but it's a lot easier to take care of, obviously. It's usually a little smoother than this, but I was out in the heat today. It's really, really hot here in Florida, or in St. Pete anyway. So it's a little fuzzy, but I like it. It's actually got a little curl to it, which I don't know where that came from. So anyway, but that's my new look. And so I'm going to talk about the house again. And of course, if you want to skip through all this, I don't know why you would want to, but I do break my videos into chapters. So in the description below it, there'll be a little link called chapters. Each chapter will be listed. If you click on the timestamp, it will take you directly to the section of the video you want to watch. But I don't know why you wouldn't want to watch all of it, because, Anyway, so I'm still trying to get the house ready for sale. Oh my God, so much stuff. Next week, I've been talking with a realtor. We have somebody coming next week to clean up the yard, and oh my God, there's so much. The backyard, I think I told you before, we let it go into a jungle. I kind of liked it. There's vines, big leaves and vines growing up the house and the garage. Well, that doesn't look very good when you're showing your house. So all that's got to go. There's vines attached to the house, so he's going to have to rip those off. And he's actually going to pressure wash the house because it gets kind of mildewy and stuff here in Florida. And then the front yard's a disaster area too. There's a big group of trees. There's birds of paradise and palm trees. And oh my God, there's just stuff everywhere, because I just haven't had anybody do it for the last year or two. Just stuff's been going on. So he's probably going to be here about a week doing all of that stuff. There's some other things he's going to do, build a new set of steps and all that kind of stuff. So when they put the new roof on, they had to take off some of the fascia around the outside edge of the house because the wood under it had rotted. So they removed the wood and put new wood up, but the fascia actually wasn't the correct size to begin with. So I told him not to bother to put it back up. And he's just going to paint all that white. So he's just going to do handyman stuff and clean the yard. He's going to be here for quite a while. And as if I didn't have enough going on or enough things on my plate, As I was moving some stuff around, I found live termites in my house. Yay, welcome to Florida. It's termite season here in Florida. So if any of you live in Florida, you know what that's like. They swarm all the time. And right now they're in my house. So before I can sell it, I need to have it treated. So I'm going to have them come, and they actually tent the house. They put a big tent over the house and the garage separate. And of course, the kitties and I have to leave for probably 2 to 3 nights. And luckily I found a company. It's very busy right now. And I found a company that had a cancellation, so I can have it done the middle of July. Otherwise, most places were booking into August. And I really want to get the house on the market as soon as I can. So anyway, after that's done, the house should be about ready. We'll have the yard cleaned up. Hopefully I have a lot of stuff moved out of the house. And then after he treats the house, I'm going to move some of the furniture out. I just want everything treated, because if you have wood furniture, termites can get into your furniture. I can move other stuff out, but I just want to make sure they aren't in my furniture that I'm going to take with me, or even that I'm going to give away. So the challenging part is going to find somewhere where me and the 5 kitties can go stay. Last time we had to do this, I found a small Airbnb. It's actually like, it used to be a garage that they made into a little 2-room apartment, and it's not too far from here. So I'm hoping I can get a hold of them again. And I didn't tell them I had 5 kitties, but it doesn't matter. They accepted cats. I mean, it wasn't like they didn't want cats. It was just 5 is a lot. And they spent most of the time underneath the bed anyway. So that's my next challenge. I have a few weeks to do that, because they're not coming till the 12th of July. So I have a month to get this all figured out. But other than that, I'm really slowly cleaning stuff up and packing things that I just want to store, a lot of stuff to donate. I went today, and it's a moving company near here. I actually had them help me move into this house. They moved all my furniture and stuff, and they give away boxes. They're from a medical supply company, and they're really nice. They have all different sizes, but they're really heavy duty cardboard boxes. So, they're not going to fall apart. They're actually folded up. So I got to tape them together, but they're in really good, they're really heavy duty. So, and I'm luckily they had some small ones, because I don't know if you can see over here, but that's a whole shelf full of books. And then I have another bookcase over there that's full of books. Those are just my stitching books. Plus all my other books. I have a bookcase full of cookbooks, which I've actually gotten rid of. I've been sorting through, and I gotten rid of about half of those. And I mean, how many diet books do you really need? So a lot of those are going away. And then I had two more bookcases in the living room full of books I keep, like all my Stephen King books. There's just a whole bunch of series or certain authors. Some of these books I've been carrying around for 20 years. Some of the paperbacks, I finally they got to go. I'm not going to read them again. And if I do want to read them again, I can probably find them somewhere. So, and now I don't download most of my books from the library to my phone and read them or listen to them from that. So anyway, that's what I've been doing, and trying to go, what do I want to keep? What don't I want to keep? All that. So that's that. That's what's, it's a lot, but it's okay. I'm okay. I'm doing okay. I've been to a couple stitches at a couple different libraries and had a really good time. The last one I went to, holy cow, I don't even know how many women showed up. It was only the second time she'd had it. It's in Brandon, Florida, it was close to an hour from my house, but it gets me out of the house for the day. And it was an all day 10:30 to 4:30 stitch. So, but they had to keep pulling in chairs and tables, and it was a lot of people, well, all women, I think it was, but it was nice. I got to see some people I hadn't seen for a long time and talk to everybody, let them know what's going on, and just talk about stitching and have a good time. So talking about stitching, I wanted to talk about my 1885 sampler. I've talked about this in the last few videos that I've done. The sampler I'm working on, I showed, I don't know what I did with the original sampler, right? It's here somewhere. The original sampler, I had it not too long ago. Anyway, things are kind of chaotic here. But I've been working on it. I really love it. I'm gonna show you the sections I'm on now. I think last time I was on section 4, and this time this is 7 and 8. So there's 10 blocks. So I only have 2 more to go. So I'm really excited about this. And actually it's time to move the scroll rod. So I'm actually going to loosen this up and unroll it so you can see the rest of the sampler from the top to the bottom. It's really long. It'll be about, if you haven't watched before, it's a sampler I'm reproducing. The original was stitched on 24 count canvas using wool and some floss. And I'm reproducing it using 28 count linen instead of canvas and DMC floss. So it's a lot smaller. The other was 6 inches wide and about, I think 48, 50 inches long. And this one, when it's finished, will be 4 inches wide and 36 inches long. That's the design area itself. So this is getting really long. So here's the first block, second, third, fourth. And a lot of these are like a bargello or a satin stitch. This one is, the blue one is kind of a Smyrna cross diamond, I guess you would call it. You just kind of pull this up here. So there's a lot of satin stitches, like I said. This one has some satin and then some little over 1 satins. Actually, I think they're over 2. But I love the colors. They're very vibrant. And she stitched it in wool. So the colors stayed pretty solid. They didn't fade like silk often fades, and it was probably because it was actually a roll. It was never framed. It was rolled up. It had a silk ribbon on the edge of it and a fabric backing. So that's probably how I will finish this. But here's this one is kind of trying to get it to where the light is on it, kind of a diagonal straight stitches here. And this one is a Smyrna cross. I love this. It's so beautiful. The colors, it was kind of a pain to stitch because there's a lot of different colors in there. I think there's 4 of the reds and 5 of the tan brown colors. And then forgot my drink. And then this section is a leaf stitch. I don't know if you can see, and there's 4 different shades of, actually it's kind of like an arrowhead stitch, I guess. There's 4 different shades of green in there, but I'm really enjoying this. This outside section is worked tent stitch over 1 with 2 strands of floss. And all of these blocks are done with 2 strands. Some of the satin stitch ones, I use 3 strands to give a really dense coverage. You can see how solid this is. But I'm having a good time, and it's stitching up really fast. The border is nice because I don't really have to look at the pattern because it's the same all the way. So I just can that's what I did when I was at the library stitching. I stitched both sides of this border, and then now I'm gonna move it up and stitch the band that's in between here like these. Every band is a little different. And then I'll continue the border down and do the next 2 blocks. And then at the bottom are the initials MM and 1885. And I don't know anything else about the sampler other than it was stitched by somebody with the initials MM in 1885. But I'm telling you, it's so much fun and it's different. It's kind of needlepoint or counted canvas, I guess it would be. And it, not really cross stitch. There's no cross stitch in it. This is all tent stitch, but it's a lot of fun. So excuse me, next, by the next FlossTube, I hope I have this done. That's my goal, to have this done all the way down and then figure out how I'm going to finish it. I'll probably finish it the same as the original. Find out the other had pink satin ribbon or silk ribbon, not satin, silk ribbon on the edge, and then a really shiny, polished fabric on the back. I'm not sure what it is. It's very different. It's not chintz or polished cotton. I don't know. I've not seen anything like it. And then she actually, to help stabilize it, put a piece of brown paper in the center. There's a big piece of paper through the whole center of it. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put paper. I may, we'll see. I may see what it's like. I may put some stabilizer, maybe iron-on stabilizer or something to keep it from flopping around. But anyway, I'm really loving this. So that is that. Now, I've been trying to talk about some things in my collection, my antique and vintage items. So I was looking through my collection of sewing items, deciding what I was going to talk about. And I found this wonderful vintage children's sewing kit from 1951. It's actually older than me. So this is Sampler Cards for Young Fingers, designed by Anne Orr. So I'm going to show you the kit and what it came with. This is pretty complete. And then I'm going to talk about Anne Orr. This is the box. I have threads hanging out the side. What does this say? Oh, it says Sampler Cards number S5390, copyright 1951 by Anne Orr, patent applied for. That's what it says on the end there. And you can still find these. I actually looked on it, just did a quick search, and there was one on eBay. It was like $31.99. I don't know how much shipping was, but so if you want to look for them, just Google it, Anne Orr Sampler Cards, and it came up with that one on eBay. I was going to go look at it a little more once I'm done. Anyway, I took the top off, and inside there's these cards. These are perforated paper, wonderful instructions, which Anne Orr was known for. The threads are still in there. Some of them haven't been used. These are JP Coates and Clark 6-strand embroidery floss, 9 yards. Oh, that one's 8 yards. Why is that one 9 yards? Huh, that's weird. Okay, this one has a patent of Steen patent December 27th, 1921. So there you know when the Steen was patented. It also came with scissors. Now, I don't know if these scissors came with the kit, but I thought they were plastic at first, but they're actually probably steel. They're kind of rusted. They don't have any information on them. They're sharp though. They're not blunt edge scissors. These are I could probably use them if they weren't quite so rusty. And then obviously somebody was stitching, because there you go. So there's a wonderful booklet that comes with it, and it says how to make sampler cards, and it's pretty detailed. And this is actually needlepoint. It's not cross stitch. And then so she gives a lot of information. Anne Orr was well known for her instructions. So it's needlepoint, so it's like a tent stitch, half across. says needlepoint is fun and easy to do. This drawing will help you if you look at it carefully. And looks like you're supposed to stitch with 6 strands of floss. Don't make a knot. It tells you how to do that. The instructions are very, very good. So she talks about each pattern, and I wonder if, I hate to generalize, but back then, specific things were for boys or girls. Now, me, I loved horses too. So this is a horse, and it's a bookmark. And at the bottom here, it's a picture of how it's finished. And these are, it's printed on the paper. And it tells, start with a yellow hole at the bottom of the horse's leg, bringing your needle up through the hole. Be sure to hold an inch of thread down on the underside of the card. And it gives you all these instructions on how to stitch this. It's amazing. It's amazing. So here's the first one. Then there is, I think I have everything in the kit. This one has not been stitched at all. So this is the flower print. That's hard to see there. You can see that better. You can see it's just printed on the paper. This has not been stitched at all. And it tells you, and this is what it will look like when it's done. And it just tells you how to work that, the colors to use. Then there's a rooster. See him. And this is worked with long straight stitches and other obvious, well, let's say, I don't know. Anyway, if you can see that, it is all stitched. And in the back, it gives all the stitches you're supposed to use. So I'll go over that in a minute. It says here at the bottom, it talks about Anne Orr. I'm going to talk about her a little more in a minute. But on here, it actually says, the name of Anne Orr has for many years been associated with outstanding needlepoint designs. Wherever women do any kind of needlework, her name has become a byword. Your mother and your grandmother too, well, and probably now your great-grandmother, have probably used Anne Orr designs in making attractive and useful articles for your home. Now you too can make beautiful and useful things, for these Anne Orr Sampler cards have been designed especially for you. So the next one on the list is the Indian. So we had a cowboy bookmark, and now we have an Indian, and he's all stitched. It's just, I don't know if it was supposed to be done that way, but the whole thing is stitched in long straight stitches. I don't think it was supposed to be stitched that way, but whatever works, it's done. So, and then we have a, this one hasn't been stitched either. This is a schoolhouse. It says A, B, C, D, E, F, G on there. And has strawberries up at the top, the schoolhouse, and the trees with it. And here's the instructions for that. And I think that's everything that came in here. So it's I have a complete kit. I'm sure I picked this up at a flea market somewhere. I don't know. But she also gives instructions on how to do the lasso. It's all back stitched, how to work that. And then these are the border around the Indian. This is the border for the flower print, how to work that. And that looks like it's worked in long straight stitches. The border for the schoolhouse, how to work the strawberries. Here's the door of the schoolhouse, how to work that, and the border around the schoolhouse. But I mean, for a child's kit, I was very impressed with any kit you buy for anybody. Hardly has, my instructions aren't that long, other than I have a lot of diagrams, but I mean, this is for your basic beginner on how to stitch. So what I did, I mean, I'd heard of Anne Orr a long time ago, but, and of course I've had this for several years, but I did, of course, my Google search. So what came up first was an article from the Quilters Hall of Fame. So I'm going to read you part of that article. I've revised it a little bit. So it's, she was actually inducted into the Quilters Hall of Fame in 1980. So she was a designer and a successful businesswoman and developed a worldwide reputation for sophisticated needlework patterns and accurate instructions. She sold patterns by mail order and served as needlework editor for Good Housekeeping magazine for 20 years. So Anne Champ was born on April 17, 1875, to Emma Claiborne and Benjamin Franklin Champ in Nashville, Tennessee. When she got older, she studied art at a private finishing school for young ladies, and at the age of 19, married John Hunter Orr. In 1913, Southern Woman's Magazine was published by several prominent Nashville women, and Anne Orr became the art editor. She provided monthly columns on antique collecting and needlework. With this exposure, she set up a mail order pattern service, and in 1915, she received her first copyright for a booklet called Centerpieces and Lunch Sets in Crochet Work. She did all sorts of needlework, not just needlepoint or quilting. And in 1917, Coat Thread Company began publishing her pattern booklets, starting with crochet books for gown yokes and boudoir caps. Shortly after that, it was reported Anne's needlework business had just received an advance order for 500,000 copies of her booklets. Anne Orr had made a name for herself on the world stage in a remarkably short period of time. 500,000. Wow. In 1921, Anne Orr became needlework editor of Good Housekeeping magazine, a position she held for the next 20 years. She contributed a monthly column about needlework, and readers ordered patterns from the magazine's New York office. In the 1920s, her needlework articles featured crochet, cross-stitch, embroidery, knitting, needlepoint, and tatting, reflecting her personal interests as well as the popular needle arts of the time. Only rarely did a quilt pattern appear. Anne Orr was concerned about the accuracy of her directions and employed a number of Nashville women to produce handcrafted items using her patterns. One news article reported at one time she employed 100 women checking her patterns. So like I said, I'd heard of Anne Orr, but I didn't know much about her. I was so impressed with her life and her needlework business. And actually, her family lived very well, partly because of her needlework business. And her needlework business even helped provide financial security during the Great Depression. So I love this quote from Anne. Do your best in workmanship, design, and careful selection of color so that the finished article will justify any work and be an heirloom to hand down for generations. We all should do that. So the actual article from the Quilters Hall of Fame has much more information on Anne's life and needlework experience. I didn't want to read the whole article, but I did provide a link to the article down. It's below all the other links I have. I hope you'll read it. Her life is really fascinating. There's a lot of information there, and I really enjoyed reading it and learning about her. So that's it for FlossTube 36. And as always, thank you. I can't tell you how much I appreciate everybody that watches and comments. I love reading the comments. So be sure to subscribe, leave a comment, like the videos. If you're working on the Stitch of the Month sampler or using any of the stitches of the month, be sure to share them in the Stitch of the Month group, Facebook group, which there's a link to. Also, I know some of you are working on a stitch a day, which is taken off. It was mentioned in another FlossTube, and it has really taken off. I've gotten quite a few orders, so I really appreciate that. And so there's also a Facebook group for that. And if you want to, let me know what stitches you want to learn. If there's some in particular you want to learn, let me know. If you have some other antique needlework tools that you want to learn about, let me know. I will tell you a lot of this is going to be packed up shortly because I need to make the room look bigger and that kind of stuff. So I won't have access to quite as much stuff for the next, who knows how long. Hopefully the house will sell like right away. I've been hearing stories. I know 2 houses in the neighborhood sold, actually 3 sold very quickly. And somebody told me somebody's house sold for in 48 hours for over list. Please. So that would be great for me. Anyway, so that's it. Thank you again. And I will see you on the 1st of July already. Wow. Bye.